Well, hey there, team. Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to some more Stationeers. What is going on there? Okay, we're draining heat out of here still. Some good points raised on the previous episode. People saying just pull down the fucking walls on this. It's a good idea. I can't see why not. We'll do exactly that. We can turn this off. Bearing in mind though, we're gonna have to come up with an enclosed solution to this problem when we do travel to Vulcan, right? I mean, I guess unless we want to do all the smelting outside, not really. We still want to control the gas pipe temperatures and that sort of thing if we can help it. So I'm happy to pull the walls down for the time being, but part of our prototyping and making all this sort of a pre-Vulcan test stuff, we will have to come up with a good solution to essentially, I guess, cool the furnace. I mean, the way it's made, I think you can probably wall the front console in. So like we could actually put it in a two-room split that we access on one side and the other side is the hot side. But I'm still cognizant of that because, well, I guess then we'd have to have remote like adding of fuel and I guess maybe we'd be able to enclose it. Like if this was back a little bit, we could enclose it in a tiny little 1x1 with maybe even a door to access it. Do you know what I mean? So we could open the door if we're in the early stages where we're still dumping, you know, ices manually in, which probably isn't going to be the case if we think about it, because we're not going to have any ice on Vulcan. That's a really good point. Because we'll be harvesting all the fuel ourselves. Okay, cool. So yeah, we should probably get in the habit of we should try and build a fuel mixer as soon as possible. Basically, a lot of this is going to be it's a mixture of forward and reverse engineering, right? Because we obviously want to create a final product that will work on Vulcan, but we have to obviously create it out of the non-pre-existing materials like steel. So we have to get our own steel construction up to then potentially reverse engineer a concept. Well, not reverse engineer because that's the wrong term. That would be taking something and building backwards from the thing. It's more that we have the concept of Vulcan and we have to build with a view to the final product on Vulcan, I suppose is how I would put it. That's why I keep saying reverse engineering, because there's sort of some backwards, you know, backflipping in it. But yeah, you're right. Also, something you guys did mention, which I brain farted out on, I totally didn't think of, is that adding more materials, because when they smelt, they expel gas, will potentially add more pressure, which is pretty crazy. I mean, are we 100% sure about that though? Because while the reaction wasn't going off, it was like if you eject it, it will drop out. Like, according to that theory, as long as we don't eject from the mold and we put, I don't know, 10 iron and 10 copper or whatever a fucking combination is sitting in there, even if it's not at the right temperature, what you guys are saying is if I add more material, it should increase the pressure from the gas expelled. But that material hasn't been smelted yet. It hasn't actually been transferred from any form of matter into anything else. So according to that, like, there's a hole in what you're saying. Maybe I'm just not connecting it. If I keep adding things in, people are saying that they will keep expelling gases, but surely they don't expel the gases until we smelt it, until we press the button and eject it from the mold, right? Because say I sat those resources in there until the whole system cooled down, the resources still exist. The physical matter of 1G or whatever the measurement is of iron will still be in there. So how on earth could it have expelled gases? Because it hasn't been smelted. It hasn't changed into a bar. It's still pure ore. I'm curious. Like I said, either I'm missing something or the guys suggesting that are wrong, or we've come up with a system to infinitely create waste gas, right? Because if we go on the back of that, you guys are saying I add more iron or whatever, more ingredient to the mixture, it should create more pressure from the waste gas it produces. Okay, cool. I'll sit bloody a 50 stack of iron in here, throw in some volatiles, turn it on. Are we saying that the iron won't ever smelt if I don't pull the trigger, but it will perpetually create waste gas? Do you see what I mean? That's strange. Because if that's possible, we should exploit that. Well, I mean, actually, we should tell the devs so they can fix it. But yeah, I'm not. At first, yeah, okay. At first, I was going to humble myself and say, yeah, you guys are probably right. Adding more material will increase the pressure in the mold. But how on earth could that possibly be? If it's waiting for me to essentially pull the trigger to eject the thing from the mold smelted. The only reason that would make sense is if I didn't actually mold release the ingredients, then the ingredients would dissipate into pure gas form eventually, but they don't. They sit there forever until you smelt them or eject them. Interesting stuff. Okay, so this bloody bad boy, the only thing that this is going to really be missing that's going to slow us down is the turbines, which require steel, right? Anyway, I'm sure I'm missing something. I wonder what it is. No, okay, the turbines are in this, aren't they? Turbine generator. Solder. Sorry, my apologies. Yeah, right, and that's why we're trying to get the solder working. Okay. So, how is this going so far? I wonder if that cools it faster. Having said that, there is another aspect that's very much gamification of this. It occurs to me that once you put, say you put one iron ore into this system, right? And then you turn it on, you press the go button, it's going to pass through either smelted or as reagent. Maybe once you press the button, it ejects its gas and that's it. But then the reagent can be put back through another machine to restore its properties, right? And all that requires is power. So hypothetically, could you then put iron ore through here, press the button to generate the iron ore's waste gases, eject it? Well, in that particular case, it will actually smelt. But let's say we put a dud mixture in. Let's say we put copper and iron, because I don't think that makes anything. Let's put 50 copper, 50 iron in there, hit the go button, it ejects a whole bunch of waste gas, we harvest the waste gas, we hit the eject button so it pops out as a blob of reagent, right? We stick that reagent back in the, I think it's called a recycler or a centrifuge or something like that. That uses power to restore it to its original statistics, I think, and then we just do it again. And we can just keep farming it around in a circle and we'll be generating infinite waste gas, right? Maybe that's how it actually works. That's interesting. That shouldn't happen, surely. Anyway, temperature. This thing's dropping. What are we going to do here? We want to make some more solder anyway, right? What have I got? Have I got lead? I've got tin lead. Oh, no. Bad. Oh, fortunately, the wind doesn't seem to affect in here at all. Okay, so it's very sort of rudimentary in its directionality. Tin. Right, it's 1-to-1 mix, right? Failed to connect to steam. Wonder what that's about. Oh well. Let's close that mold. I guess there's no harm in just putting these straight in the machine, right? Uh-oh. What did I do? I've made a boo-boo. If I pull that... Oh, don't. I've made a big boo-boo here. So if I pull that, it'll come out as reagent? No? Oh. No. Okay. It just didn't smell. It just came through on its own. Okay, cool. Let's see if we can just brute force this for the time being. Right, 1-to-1. Look at it go. Loves it. Oh, shit. Fuck, any chance I can put a lead ingot back in? Oh, yeah. And what was it again? 550k. And over 1 MPA. Could not connect after 4 retries. You'll not... Oh, good. I'm glad. Because I was like, fucking stop poking me, game. I don't know what's going on there. Maybe they're patching or something. Maybe Steam's down. Alright, so that's cooling fairly quickly. Yeah, truly, at this point, all we just want to do is let it cool. Pressure's fine. In fact, the pressure's quite high. So this will probably... We'll have to supervise it, but it'll do that, and that'll give us 20 solder, which will be more than enough for this, I think. 4, 8, 12. We're going to need some iron and some copper, so we'll let that go. Some iron. That was a particularly quick storm, eh? Oh. Oh, we're going to need gold. Gold. We've only got 4 there. So we'll need another 8 gold? What do we got here? 50, Jesus. How's my pack handling that? Yeah, okay, cool. So that's not really superheating me now, so that's good. I have to wonder, you know, like, okay. I guess it wasn't clean. We didn't drain it out either, but there's CO2 in there. There's all these other gases. Yeah, I can't understand how you would get waste gas before, because it's still a video game. The smelting process is pressing the button once and it just magically turns into another item. You know what I mean? It's not an actual overtime burn where it's releasing gases slowly and reducing the size of the mass, or reducing the mass of the item over time. Yeah, I guess maybe it's obvious. Maybe I raised an interesting point, but I still need a little bit more time to really get my head square on this. That's probably enough gold for now. $17, perfect. Alright, so that'll work out well. But yeah, regardless, we still need to come up with a fuel injection method sooner than later, right? This ice thing's not going to help. And the sooner I can get into the habit of not just using guesswork with the ices, the better. As we've sort of discussed, like I only put in a 1-to-1 just then, right? 1-to-1 volatile to ice, right? And that's burnt out most of the volatile in that mix, which is cool because that's what I was aiming for. I would rather have an oxygen flooded mix than a, wait, 300. Oh, it's in K, right? I would rather have, more oxygen, but I suppose my point is, like, we're over temperature, we're definitely over pressure. There is a scenario where we could have used less volatile than whatever there is in one ice block's worth of volatile, right? So essentially, we're smelting in an overkill state just because we're throwing in these ices. We want to be able to meet it out a little bit better. What was it? 550. And at least 1 MPa. The temperature's still slipping pretty good, and the pressure's holding fairly well. It'd be good. I've never really Googled what other people do for furnace and fuel control sort of thing. But I'm looking forward to coming up with like a pretty robust system. It'd be cool if we could even have a front-end console eventually, because how many different types of alloys are there? It would be cool if you could just press a button and have the logic make the alloy that you want, you know? There we go. Nice. Oh, these will take a little while. Whoops. You reckon have those plants been in there for a day? I can't remember. We'll just go look at them while that thing's cooking. Set outward. No, I want inward. Not that it really matters that much. That's right, we're pushing the temperature right out to see what happens. What are we at? 33 degrees? Huh. I could have sworn we got higher. Okay. Alright. So, this is the big boy. I guess it doesn't really matter that much. Presumably they're unidirectional, right? Or omnidirectional. Geez, I'm trying to use the right words here. But as long as there's a pressure differential on one side, it will pass through regardless. You know. Which might be something that you could leverage, you know, if you had a hot and cold side, or I don't know, something to do with the sun perhaps. Like if you could get it in large enough volume, you'd have to make a huge bloody like greenhouse sort of thing. Oh, we're out of copper. Hmm. And yeah, this is generating gas that we could be capturing as well. Yeah, I'd be curious what people have to say. You know, it makes sense to me that this, you know, one copper turns into a copper bar internally, ejects gas. I get that. That makes sense. This, the transformation never actually really happens until I pull the handle. So when's the gas getting generated to make more pressure in there? I'm curious. I'm curious what people have to say on that, because the reason that whole started was people were suggesting if you put more material in, you'll increase the pressure. Are you just saying because of the physical material being in there, or because of the waste gas? Because I think that's a bit cart before the horse, unless there's a concept that I'm missing, which I'm 100% hoping that is the case. Someone will write one sentence comment and I'll go, "Oh, you big old bloody square head," and then I'll understand it immediately. But I'm not 100% sure. All right. Gonna need walls. We're gonna need sheets. Can do a bit of welding on these frames, I guess. How far off are you? Because you've got all my iron in there that I need to make walls out of. Also, I'll need a back pressure regulator and an active vent. I'll need a whole bunch of cable to run all this out so we can potentially monitor the outputs. And getting it up to speed will be interesting as well. We might even need a little power converter like this to put battery power into it. Or we could just plug the generator straight in. We might even pull the generator up and just put it over here. And just jam power into the system, because it's going to need that jump start before it becomes like self-sustaining. Now I made these windows as well. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I did. No, stop. No, men. No more. No more. Alright. Back pressure regulator. Let's go. Fresh. Am I looking at the right machine? Auto lathe, you dickhead. Alright. Pressure. Iron, gold, copper. Active vent. How best to do this. Excuse me. The active vent's actually going to go up here. This is going to need 2 passive vents. I suppose you'll... Hey. We need to dig that out a little bit, maybe. That's not a digger. You idiot. 6. There we go. And that automatically clicked on. Ooh, that's pretty neat and tidy of me. Oh, you can't put those in there. Okay. I guess they'll both need power. That'll be generating it. That'll be receiving it. That's okay. It shouldn't be enough. Or is it? That's... We really should separate them out. We don't want surges. Especially if I'm going to create a situation with the, like a coal generator to jumpstart it. Let's just do this for the time being. Alright. While I've still got gear in the hydraulic doodacky, that's fine. This is going to need a passive vent as well, which we'll be able to do that same trick that we did over the other. We should be able to link them together back to back, but I believe we're going to need some wall kits to do that. Auto lathe, that's fine. Oh, let's just put all this in there. Wall. Wait, did I need 2? I don't think I needed 2. Whoops. Perfect. Perfect. Alright. So we just have to wall it up. We have to run the cables out, which we can just hook them out to the side. That's worked out nice and clean. Yeah. I'm happy with that. So, and then we'll be able to run that through a power regulator, right? So we'll have the turbines go in one end and the others go out the other. And I guess we could just put like a large battery, because I think we can make them now because they require steel. So we could charge a large battery over there and pull it out and put it into a power regulator over here to hopefully just feed it to build the pressure through the system, because that's going to take a little while to get it up to, well, what are we going to say, 50 kPa for test, and we'll have windows so we'll be able to see the rate of rotation of these. Yeah. Yeah, this will be good. It'll be a lot more easy to observe. We'll see if we can get the full power, and then at least by doing that, we'll be able to check the draw. Hopefully at like hopefully 50 kPa will do it. I'm not sure because I couldn't find statistics on it. Like I said, with the wall sections that we're building, we can't go past 100. I don't think we can push it up. We can test it. That's not a big deal. The back pressure regulator will, well, regulate all of that. Ultimately, that's just going to keep this chamber at 75 or 75, 100, whatever we set it to. But that'll be also interesting at like what are these? How fast does it pass through from segment to segment? You know? Because I guess like, I mean, it asks the question: if we got the whole system at 50 kPa, but this is pumping it out literally as fast as this is pumping it in, maybe we get them spinning fast. There's also another added aspect of like, is this going to be a strong enough pump to keep that throughput fast? I don't know. I really don't know. But at the very least, it's going to be interesting to experiment. But yeah, we'll give this a go and see what happens. All right, team. Thanks again for joining me. We might just leave it there for the time being, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.